Hi guys, well, as you've already gathered, I asked for comments on these and this idea, and yeah, they don't stick that well, and yeah, the bouncing bomb, I really didn't fancy that hitting me on the head. So I've listened to what you said, your comments. There's a few of you commented, and you're quite right what you've said, and I've listened, and we're doing something about it. So as you'll see, I've taken the plates off. I'm doing 2. I've got another 2 to do, so it's 4. I've still some bits in the post, but some stuff has come. Without further ado, we'll go over onto the bench and I'll show you what we've got and how we're going to address our, not problem, but a better solution, I'll say. Okay, so out with the new old. And in with the new. These were not expensive, were they? £4 something each. They weren't expensive, but you know what a lovely thing they are. Even got a little sight glass on there that won't do me any good because they're going in a different plane to that, but a dovetail camera mount with the standard Whitworth thread come apart. They've even got the little thing to screw it onto the bottom of the camera or to bottom or whatever. So let's have a look. Instead of a plate being on there, we probably want that on there. I'll do both and tighten that up, and we've got a solid mount which will be hung down like so. I've put a protective lens on the front of this camera. While we're on, I'm going to screw it off. It's a polarising lens and it has got a bit of a tint to it. I'm just going to make sure it ain't actually interfering with the camera. Excuse fingers. Yeah, it's slightly darker. I'll leave it off for now. It's only for when I'm working up machine, and somebody had commented about an expensive camera getting swath blasted in there. Okay, so where do we go from here? I did get another arm. Now, all I had was 3 of these. That's my little GoPro on there. And these little short ones, which you might have seen in that previous video, I'm not sure. But they're too short. I wanted, obviously, because the height of this, so let's move. That is above my head height. So obviously I've still got to get from above my head height down to the workpiece or wherever I want to video. So I did get something else which I shall show you. And another one, it's way. These are 11-inch arms, I believe, or 10.5 or something, but they're much bigger than the little ones on the end that you can see there. I put the little one on the end simply so that I can angle that to get the camera flat. But yeah, it's an articulating arm and it locks really well. So that gets me my distance. Okay, so as I said, I've already screwed one up, so what I'll do is I shall just mount this. Okay, so that's the mount that I made. Then we've got this dovetail unit, which all needs tightening up because these have all got lock nuts on. So obviously once I've sorted all this out, and then the end bit was, the idea was for the camera I could mount that anywhere I wanted. So if I wanted to shine at this, obviously I could do easily. And the beauty of these arms is everything's Whitworth, which is standard camera thread. It's international, isn't it? Okay, so I'll do that. Maybe swing it up a bit, I don't know. I'll say this is all just a hash up. One camera mount with a GoPro pointing straight at the DRO. And in the editing software I've got, I can minimise that camera view into a corner, any size I want. And so I could be machining there and showing you what's happening maybe with the DRO at the same time. So yeah, a great addition I believe. So I've got another one of these big arms coming. I've got 3 of these, so that's probably going to do me for that. The first one I made up, I even tried clamping to the plate with the clamp that came with one of these, but that were no good. It was bending it all over, and that were a piece out of an old printer, piece of rod, which can come off now. So there you go. One camera there, and one there. Great. So this is over the bench area. If I want to do any welding or anything like that. And my wobbly hands aren't going to be showing so much. Okay, so I've got the original arm that I made onto a camera mount, which were, I think they were about £4 something. I got 5. I'm glad I did, because 4 would have done for all my mounts, but I needed one for the bottom of the camera as well. So yeah, so we've got the long articulated arm fastened onto that, and then we've got a little shorty one so that I could angle the camera wherever I wanted. And as you've already seen, is that one that I set up the other night, because this is a day or 2 after now. I was waiting for that arm coming, so that's that one done and great. The other one can clamp on there if I'm working on milling machine. If I'm working over at lathe we'll use that one. And if I'm working over the vise or the bench, or indeed maybe a bit of welding, anything like that, we've got the camera mounted there. Super pleased. So that rounds up, guys. I'll come back to the board, as John would say, and we'll wind it up. All worked out well. Really chuffed with it. So we've got 2 mounts over the mill, one over the lathe, one over the bench, but I could actually machine one more nut and slide it, unscrew it from the beam up there, screw it, slide it over and just leave it loose at this end of the lathe in case I want to do any videoing at this end of the lathe, because that'll only move up to where that heater is and where it's screwed up onto the timber. So probably, I think I've got some more of those big bolts. My mate's got boxes of them anyway, so it's not a problem to get another one off him if need be. I think that's it. Then it'd be 5 mounts, but what a simple idea. And I'm not gonna be visiting A&E with a big hole in my head at regular intervals, am I? It's far better idea that, and £4 a time, cheap as chips, not expensive. The whole thing, of course, I was lucky that I had this conduit, so that didn't cost me anything. But if you went and got some 25mm galv, wouldn't cost much. A couple of lengths, whether they'd sell you a couple of lengths, but not much. That 11-inch mount and that 11-inch mount, they were 20 quid. They were £20, just under £21 delivered. One came from UK, one came from China, but they were both more or less the same price from different companies. They only had one of them when I ordered. That's why I had to order the second one from somewhere else. And then the little articulated arms, I said I already had, so I'm going to say 0 for that. So there's 40 quid in the 2 arms, and then there's all the adapters, so they were like £4 each, just over 4, so it's 4 5s are 20. So it's what, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 quid. It's cost me £60 to set up the full camera setup for in here without any chance of kicking a tripod over anymore or whacking myself on the head with a mag base. So I was never happy with that, and quite a few of you did comment, and thank you very much, because you get this little thing whirring around in your brain, don't you? And you think, no, do I, don't I? And then somebody does a comment, and it's, yeah, you definitely don't want to be using them. And it makes you realise that, yeah, that's right. So thanks, guys, all of you that did comment. Some family members also said the same. Brother-in-law, he also said the same to me, who'll end up watching this video, I've no doubt. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, guys. Give us a like and a subscribe if you can. Okay, if you don't like what I've done, give us a thumbs down, but I'm sure many of you will be impressed, and I'm sure many of you subscribers that have got your own channel, that you're probably going to do a similar thing, because it's so easy. There's lots of guys on YouTube done various things, but some of them are extremely complicated. Cloud 42 one, I mean, that must have weighed a ton. I'm not saying it was no good, because it was great, but it was a fixed point, it didn't move. But there's another guy who does a joinery shop. He's got quite a big workshop, and he's doing one on timber rails, and it's going to rail up and down. Really good idea, on little rollers and everything. But again, a lot of work. This didn't take that long to do, and it's simple, and it wasn't expensive. I'm really happy with it. Thanks, guys. Cheers. By the way, we've got to find another project to do now. Still fancy doing a little petrol or a diesel engine. I love steam engines, but I've just never really fancied building a steam engine. I've always fancied building a petrol engine, because I've rebuilt that many big ones, V8s and all sorts. But yeah, just fancy a little, probably a little boxer, engine, but I'd want it to be water cooled so I could run it nice and slow and run it for quite some time. If I did an air cooled one, it's going to have to have a propeller on it in it to cool it. It's going to be like an aero engine, and I fancied something that were not an aero engine, like a little miniature BMW motorbike engine. I haven't seen one anywhere. If any of you do see one, put me a link on the channel, because I've not seen any flat boxer twin engines that are water cooled, kits that is, or drawings to build my own. I don't mind making the whole thing if there's no stock comes with it, because you probably do alley crankcases anyway, so probably got tons of alley and stuff. Right, I've rattled on enough. Thanks very much guys, see you later, bye.